The Grateful Grump Podcast.
Hi, everybody. This is Dennis Wilkinson, the Grateful Grump on Substack. And we have a special guest today for our podcast.
It's me.
It's my wife, Mistin. And we are in one of our favorite spots, which is our garden. In the midst of beauty behind us, we are going to tell you about some of the greatest chaos in our marriage over the last 25 years. And honey, you've read a book recently. What was that book called?
The Book of Longing by Sue Monk Kidd. This book tells the story of a young woman named Anna who happens upon Jesus. So it's set way back in Bible times, and she falls in love with him, which feels a little bit scandalous when we talk about being, the bride of Christ. But this is literally the bride of Christ.
Bride of Christ.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she marries him eventually through the
Yep.
story, and she's quite a character, and she's a writer. So through the whole story, she's trying to have a voice. But of course, in the first century or before, when the time of Jesus, women didn't have a place. And so she's constantly striving for that, and how Jesus relates to that is so profoundly healing, actually, to this woman's heart.
You loved the book, read it twice.
Loved it. I don't
And-
read books twice, but this one was
Yeah.
a do-over. I might even read it a third time.
Yeah.
There's so much beauty of Jesus in there, but also, yeah.
So I read the book too, and I struggled to like it. And then we began to talk and evaluate, and it sort of gave us the opportunity to discuss probably the greatest struggle in our marriage.
Well, there's a line in the book that Dennis
Oh,
refers to
right.
called "The Terrible Need for My Own Life." Is that what it is?
Yes.
See, I don't remember whole lines of a book. I remember whole concepts of a book.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so the terrible need for my own life is the phrase that I focused in on. And then from that phrase, all of these conversations about the struggles of our own marriage have come to light. Mistin and I, coming out of conservative fundamentalist Christianity, where there's clear boundaries for a woman,
and roles.
and
yeah.
roles. And so when we were married, we said, look, no, we're going to be equals. We're going to collaborate with our decisions. We're going to move forward with our decisions. That's what we kind of.
And this is one of the main reasons why I love Dennis, because yes, we came from a similar brand of Christianity, but he was so much more generous towards me and towards women.
Mhm.
And so this is one of the main things that attracted me to Dennis.
Mm-hmm. And one of the main things that attracted me to Mistin was her like flamboyant spirit and her independent way and
Strength. I have
and
strength.
Yeah. So those were attractive. So we get married, and we're rolling along. And from my point of view, we are collaborating. We're unified. We're moving together. Not as me dominating, or not as me, I'm leading, you're following sort of perspective. So we're going along, and we're into 20 years of marriage, and then we have this crisis.
So at this season in our life, we had the greatest tragedy of our marriage with our daughter's health. And it's more than health, it's also mental health. And she almost died. And the stress of trying to keep this kid alive when she seemed to be fighting against us was really traumatizing to our marriage, traumatizing to all of our children. And it's not a one-off. We're still in the middle of this struggle. It hasn't ended. It is still going. So we have had to learn how to relate to each other and our very different opinions. When it feels like your daughter's life is at risk, you fight. And so I had a very large voice in this situation because we absolutely disagreed in so many things. And so this was a first for us, when I just absolutely was going to fight for my child, and it was in opposition to my husband, with me being this forceful. It was surprising to him, and then through counseling, so many more issues came out, which were also surprising to him, and my manner of speaking has been surprising.
And like Mistin said, we vocalize our own opinions during this crisis, and our opinions differ. And she doesn't back down, and I am absolutely convinced that I'm correct in our strategy for how to deal with our daughter. And it gets very intense, right? Like if we follow your philosophy, or if we follow my philosophy and the daughter dies, then you're to blame or you're to blame. So it became like,
It's a big deal.
yeah, it became.
And we're both fighting
it became
as if the other one is trying to kill our kid.
Explosive,
Yeah.
yeah. And so then we go to counseling, and then all of a sudden, Miston is saying, "Look, I never wanted to come to Vancouver. I never wanted to plant a church. I don't want to live in the city, and everything that we've done over the last 20 years, she didn't want to do." And I'm like, "What? Why wouldn't you tell me this? Like, why are you telling me now? I thought we collaborated. I thought we worked together. I thought we were in this together. I thought we made all the decisions as a team. And now you're telling me that all of the major decisions that we made in the last 20 years, you didn't support." So I'm like, who are you?
Because he doesn't understand that when I'm wrestling through these things, I speak my mind, but the feedback that I'm getting from the women in my circles is, get in line with your husband. Nothing will work until you get in line with your husband. You must follow your husband's lead. He's the boss. You go under him. He's the authority. You have to submit. You have to just go where he's going, and that's where God will bless you. That's what is in my feedback constantly.
But I thought we left that, right? I thought we left
Yeah.
that behind. So we were kind of thinking like, so Miston left the fundamentalism, but the fundamentalism didn't leave her, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
like deep in the back part.
It's still in me to do this, even though I don't actually believe that this is how it should be. I believe that we should be collaborating,
Yeah.
but yet underneath it, I'm still saying, okay, Dennis, I go your way,
So
which
her,
means I'm not completely honest.
yeah. So her knee-jerk reaction.
And I never fought
Yeah.
until my kid's life was on the line. I just kept going his way.
Yeah. So it was like an absolute earthquake to our marriage because I felt like Miston was disingenuous for all these years.
Not
Because
long.
I've never tried to force my way on her. I've always thought we've collaborated and moved together. She's, in her mind, she's always thinking she is just submitting as she's supposed to do, and she's in this cycle of frustration until we hit this crisis point with our kid, and she said no more. And then next thing you know, we're having like Donnybrooks, knockdown, drag out fights.
I don't
Do
know,
you know what a Donnybrook
no,
is?
I don't know a Donnybrook. Okay,
Yeah.
but knockdown, drag out, I understand.
Yes. Oh, hockey,
Okay.
hockey term. So how do we move forward, right? I'm hurt because I feel like she's been lying to me for 20 some years. I've never forced anything on her, and now all of a sudden she tells me she never wanted to do anything that we've done over the last many years. And then all of a sudden these issues are like about everything, like you know, everything from holiday choices to the bedroom stuff to dinner. Like she's just been submitting all this time and she doesn't have any real voice, but now she's found her voice. So I feel like she's a liar and disingenuous, and you feel like
I've been doing the right thing. I've been trying to be a good wife, a good mother, and I also feel like before we were married, I had a lot of say in the world. I had a lot of authority. I had a lot of autonomy. And then once I was married, all of that was stripped away. I was no longer speaking or presenting first. It was always deference to my husband, which I said early on in our marriage, I feel like I'm losing my identity. I feel like I'm gone. Like I am not myself anymore. And I asked to go to counseling in our first year of marriage, but he couldn't perceive a problem because I was doing such a good job of following his lead that there was no problems for him. The problems were for me, and of course I wasn't fighting him enough to go for counseling. So I muttered a lot at some bitterness that built up.
Yeah. And I do remember you saying that you feel like you're living in my shadow, and I kind of was like, it's a nice shadow to live in. Like I don't understand. Like you're
what's
free.
your problem?
Yeah, what's your problem? You're free to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like I'm not putting any constraints on you. And so so anyway, all of this came to such a terrible head that we thought the marriage was fracturing. So how did we overcome it, or how are we continuing to, because things have changed now, right? Like Miston is not the Miston of before, right?
No, I have a voice.
She has a voice, like I have mentioned. You're your own planet now. You have your own gravitational pull. Miston will not be someone's moon. That is the truth of the matter. And so she's very she's become sometimes very stubborn or very opinionated. And
But I think he needed that. Our whole relationship. This is, I think, what a good helpmeet is supposed to be: is the person who pushes back hard enough, not selfishly, but in all areas, to help work through life together. And so, on one hand, I've been a huge disservice to my husband for 25 years by not being the force that he was expecting me to be when we got married.
not telling me how you're really feeling.
Yeah, or not just about my feelings, but about all of life. We just went his way. It's not always been the right way because I wasn't pushing hard enough to fight and discuss it hard enough with him, which he could have taken. Like we could have done that, but in my own heart, I wasn't allowing myself to do that. So,
I think like mutual submission is a hard concept for us. And so I guess for a long time, you just naturally submitted to my point of view or my vision. Now you're not anymore. And now we need to learn how to like talk through things a little better and practice mutual submission, because in a relationship you don't always get your way, right?
No.
And now your way has come to the forefront. My way is still there, and so there's fireworks sometimes, right? Which is frustrating.
Learning to work with that.
Yeah, which is hard. So
well, we're trying to understand each other. I think that you keep saying we need to have a generosity of spirit. So being generous to each other, trying to understand, like even though we feel like we know each other so well, like there's still more to learn.
We're trying to have that generosity of spirit towards each other. And I'm trying to make sure that I value her opinions and her point of view and the direction she wants to go. You know, not always just assume that we should go in my direction or anything like that. And you're committed to being as truthful as you can, which is kind of a pain in the ass sometimes.
And sometimes it's hard,
but
because it's not peaceful.
But without like truth at the center of a relationship, you don't really have one. So
we have to be honest.
So we have to share like who we are and what we think.
So one of the things that was presented to us in counseling, which is I want to talk about because it was so beautiful. He talked about how each of you is a garden, and here we are in this beautiful garden. And we've been cultivating our own little plot. We can maybe show you a picture of that later. But he said each of you is a garden, and you look over the fence at the other person's garden and say, "Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. I like that." And then you sign on to do life together. But what often happens in a relationship is one person's garden starts to look like the other person's garden. And then that person looks over and says, "That's not beautiful anymore. I see that all the time. It's the same as mine," because this one is losing their identity to the other one. But if we maintain our own garden, be our own person, we're still beautiful to the other one. And we can talk back and forth, and I can have this plant in my garden and you don't have to have it in your garden. We can be very different and appreciate each other. And so I feel like we're trying to maintain our own gardens. And at this point in life, I'm trying to be my own person, not just along with what Dennis is doing. And so I have my own interests and my own things that we're doing. And it's a little weird. We don't have this all figured out. Like our lives are going in different paths now, which is odd. We've always done it together. And through the time we've been together, we've built something. Like, I mean, we've had our ups and downs and a lot of downs more recently, but
that's for
we've
sure.
built this beautiful, what do you call it, a sacred history together. I don't want to lose that. I love Dennis. I think he loves me.
I do.
And so
I do.
So we don't want to lose what we have, and so we're figuring it out, and we're going to stay together, and we're going to keep working and building and hopefully growing even more beautiful gardens that have some branches going back and forth.
And so, here we are in the garden, sort of like a new day, springtime, everything's growing, and we're hoping that's what's happening with our relationship.
25 years in.
25
Let's
years
keep
in.
going.
We're signing up for 25 more, hey?
I am.
We move forward together with a spirit of generosity and mutual submission, and then, hopefully we'll be all right.
Hope so.
Okay. Bye.